asking you for your identification.
And I'm telling you no. It's my Fourth Amendment right not to identify myself to law enforcement.
Okay.
You know who I am.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down, all right?
I don't consent to any searches or seizures. So you do what you do.
I'm not searching you. I'm going to pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons.
I don't consent.
The video you are about to see is taken from Long Island Audits. Check out their channel. You know, these auditors checking police to see if they are adhering to the Constitution. For those of us that are police officers, we have to understand that what these gentlemen are doing, and these ladies for that matter, are doing is testing to make sure that officers are familiar with the constitutional rights that citizens have. I'm a security consultant and often will do what we call a penetration test or an infiltration test. And it's basically two types. One where you try to defeat the technology, and the other one is where you try to defeat the human asset, the security guard or the staff that are on site. Most of the time, it's a lot easier to beat the human asset rather than the technology that exists. But these penetration tests are important because we train, we do drills, and we get them up to speed, and then we do a penetration test to see if they are employing the skills that they were taught. In these audits, this is a test. And yes, a lot of these individuals are agitators. And yes, a lot of these individuals are anti-police. However, it's still incumbent upon the law enforcement officer to know his or her job, what they can and cannot do. As you'll see in this video, the officer walks up and the very first thing he does is ask for identification. This video was taken by Long Island Audits because they were protesting the Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick Ryder. Now, was there some pressure from the commissioner to use bullying tactics for the protesters? Probably. Shouldn't have been, but probably. Also, you'll see here that this officer violates this person's constitutional rights and performs an illegal Terry frisk. He does not have enough reasonable articulable suspicion to perform a Terry frisk. There is no basis whatsoever to suspect that this individual, when you watch the video, is carrying or in possession of a weapon, nor is there any indication that this individual has committed or is about to commit a crime.
Of us arriving, the Nassau County Police Department has arrived here during our peaceful protest. Hey, how are you? I'm doing well, sir. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Right on my shirt.
Your name's right on your shirt?
Yep.
How do you spell? How do you spell that?
You have ID on you, sir? Officer Poulos.
Officer Poulos. And your badge number?
You have ID on you?
No. Upon this officer's arrival, he's not really professional, nor is he polite. He tries to conduct absolutely no investigation whatsoever, other than asking for an identification.
Do not. I do not have any identification on me. I don't give identification unless I've been suspected of committing a crime, Officer Poulos.
I'm asking you for your identification.
And I'm going to respectfully decline that request. I'm peacefully protesting. What does it look like? Do you see? Peacefully protesting. See the billboard truck?
Billboard truck?
Yeah, you see it? With all the different signs that's going to be on there?
That's going to be on there? It looks like there's nothing on there right now.
Well, yeah, he's changing the settings right now, but yeah. It's a peaceful protest against the Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick Ryder.
Permit for that protest?
I don't need a permit. I don't need a permit. I'm not using any megaphones or doing anything of that nature.
Screen here.
Right.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, it's 100% necessary. I'm going to be out for 8 hours. I'm going to be here for a while, then I'm going to drive around. Why is he pulling in so fast? This is not an emergency. He can hurt somebody, and he's not even have his lights and sirens on. See? Hired. Look, he hired 17
I'm asking
former.
you to stop recording. I'm asking you for your identification.
No, you're not getting my identification. You're not. Just stay in the truck. You're not getting any identification, and I'm not going to stop recording. Period. That's it.
So you just have to be difficult.
I'm not being difficult. I'm exercising my rights. You took an oath to uphold those rights.
I am.
So you should. You didn't take an oath
for
to
identification.
protect the...
I'm asking you for your identification.
And I'm telling you, no, it's my Fourth Amendment right not to identify myself to law enforcement.
Okay.
You know who I am.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down, all right?
Reasonable suspicion is an objectively justifiable suspicion that is based on specific facts or circumstances and that would justify stopping and sometimes searching, as by frisking a person, thought to be involved in criminal activity at the time of the encounter. None of that criteria was met here.
I don't consent to any searches or seizures, so you do what you do.
I'm not searching you. I'm going to pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons.
I don't consent to any searches or
That's
seizures.
fine. All right? You got anything else on you?
I would appreciate...
How this cop performed a Terry frisk is abysmal. He never patted down the person's legs to see if he had an ankle holster, and it was really a piss poor pat down. On an incident like this where police are called out for someone on the street, police should be trying to gather evidence. The only evidence that is clear here is that this officer doesn't know what he's doing.
Shit, if you didn't touch me.
A few minutes later, the sergeant pulls up in an unmarked car.
How you doing, Sarge? Hey, how are you, Sarge?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Mind if I get your name and badge number, please?
Sergeant Scapuzzo, 822.
Thank you, Sergeant. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sergeant, you know I'm no threat to the commissioner. Not a threat other than, accountability, but I'm not a threat as far as a physical threat or anything like that.
Once again, a pure display of unprofessionalism by this police department, and in particular this sergeant. Arrives on the scene, barely acknowledges the individual, who is clearly polite and friendly to him. And if you're wondering if these police officers know what they're doing, they don't. As you can tell, the sergeant is walking towards the house, which I assume is the commissioner's house. Now he decides to turn around and inspect the vehicle. It's what we call fishing, looking for violations. You can see the full video on Long Island audits. He's protesting official police misconduct, unprofessionalism, and corruption. Certainly by watching the segments here, you can see at least police misconduct.
Hey, Sarge, why are you touching the vehicle? Another intimidation tactic, ladies and gentlemen, walking around our big, beautiful truck here.